All right, everybody. This is hashtag homeless day number 10. And I am feeling so awful. It's being sick when you're homeless it's so bad. Even though I have a roof over my head, I need to lay in bed for a day. I need to cover up with a blanket. I need to sit in a recliner and cover up with a blanket and not do anything all day. And there's so many nitpicking rules and things you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. You're not allowed to go to sleep when you want to go to sleep, and you're not allowed to sit in a chair when you want to sit in a chair. It's like these people micromanage your day to the point where, like, I get why they're trying to put structure in people's lives because some people need it. I'm just gonna put and to be honest, I've seen some crazy stuff. Just today, they had to throw someone out of the shelter because this guy couldn't go 30 seconds. I've been in this place for 10 days now, and this guy could not go 30 seconds without starting a fight with somebody. Verbal, arguing, being obnoxious, yelling, and this guy would go from like 0 to 100 in terms of anger level in the snap of a finger, over and over and over. And they gave this guy every chance. And finally, this morning, he threatened to beat the crap out of somebody. And so they threw him out. And I'm not going to miss the guy. I feel bad for him, but I try to ignore him because he's constantly, I could be sitting in a chair with my headphones on, looking at videos or doing something on my phone, just want to be left alone. And this dude he'll sit there and yell at you, he'll pester you until you finally pull out a headphone from your ear and listen to what he has to say because you just want him to stop. And he'll wave his arms and he'll just get in your face until you finally give him the attention that he's looking for. But I try to stay away from this guy and ignore him, and now he's gone. So one good thing about today. But I'm in New York State, and I don't know what this is. It's been Friday, Saturday. It's been 3 days of feeling horrid. And on top of that, not getting enough sleep, not even being able to cover up with a blanket. I'm wearing a long sleeve cycling shirt. It's kind of thick. It's warm enough. But I can't get warm. The air conditioning's cranked way up at this place. I sit there shaking and frigid. I started out feeling okay this morning, but by about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I was a complete wreck. I can't eat. I can barely get food in my mouth. And this is New York State. You don't tell someone you're sick. You know what New York did to people back in 2020 when they said they're sick. So there is absolutely no way I will ever tell anybody I'm sick. Ever. Not in New York State. I don't know what they do to you at the homeless shelter if you say you're sick. I don't know if they kick you out. I don't know if they lock you in the basement or something with 10 masks on your face and strap you to a bed. I don't know if they call the medical disposal unit to have you taken to some, concentration camp where they, send you to the guillotine and then, cook you in the oven. And since you're homeless, nobody's going to know you're gone. Nobody's going to care. So, I'm just joking, but I will never, never tell anybody I'm sick. And I feel like there's so much noise everywhere I go. So much noise in the background. I cannot get away from it. Anywhere in this town. Anywhere. I cannot find a quiet place in Jamestown, New York, in the whole town. Believe me, I've been looking ever since I moved here for a quiet place. And it doesn't exist. But yeah, sick. Or it's either, I don't know if it's germs or if it's just my body just completely gave out from walking 75 miles and all the massive amount of stress and all of the, not getting enough sleep and, 10 other reasons. I feel like I don't know. I just hope that by Tuesday I feel fine again, because that's when I have to. I don't even know. Tomorrow's Memorial Day, and I think we get kicked out of the homeless shelter at 9 in the morning, and nothing in the entire town is open. So I'm probably going to have to sit outside all day. Hope it doesn't rain, and wait until 4 o'clock till I can come back in. There might be a coffee shop open. Tim Hortons might be open on Memorial Day. I don't know. I'll have to check. But that's going to be a rough day tomorrow, unless for some reason they say we can stay at the shelter because everything's closed and it's basically the same as a Sunday or worse. So on the job front, I was able to spend about 8 hours today. No, not even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 hours today working on my portfolio, putting another little project together for this job interview on Wednesday that I can demonstrate that I know what I'm doing. Basically a data table like you would see on a banking website, a transaction table, like when you log into your online banking, and how it responds when you resize the window or view it on a phone. So in a web browser, it's a table with rows, horizontal rows going down the screen, but when the width of your screen gets too small to display it that way, it switches to a card for each row in the table, turns into an individual card with the labels and all the same data, but on individual cards. And so it's a really complicated piece of user interface design that I already kind of had figured out a long time ago. I just pulled some code together that I'd already written and just kind of retooled it from scratch. And so that gives me another piece in my portfolio. But it was so weird. I had to get all this permission just to sit at a table in the homeless shelter, to sit there and work on my laptop all day. And I'm like, I'm trying to find a job. Like, are you going to get in my way of trying to find a job? Like, really? And it's not as bad as I'm making it sound. In fact, the guy, this morning when I came upstairs, or when I came down from the bedroom and after breakfast, he told me that he set up an extension cord for me and he made me a little space. So, but there's this weirdness about it. And I had to go to church today, and I don't mind that. So I went to church today, so I really couldn't get started until after lunch, after church. So 1 o'clock, I was able to start doing what I wanted to do. I actually wanted to start at like 8 o'clock in the morning and just work straight through. But, it never hurts to take time for the Lord. So I got no problem going to church. But then, I got from 1 to 6 p.m. to do my work. And then it's dinner time, and you're not allowed to be anywhere but the dining room when it's time to eat, but that's fine. I wanted to eat. And then after that, my body's just completely shot. So I wanted to go for a walk and record this video, but they make you sit and watch religious videos. And they kind of give you a guilt trip if you don't want to do it. And once again, I don't really have a problem, but there's a massive rainstorm on the way, and I wanted to get this done before I get dumped on. But, the Lord will provide, and the last I checked, the storm was still creeping past Youngstown, Ohio, maybe coming, not even to Erie, PA yet, and at the speed storms move, it's probably going to be 2-3 hours before it hits here, but it's going to be a big one. So... and the sky and the gloom is in the air, as you can see behind me. It's coming. And everywhere I look, there's people walking by, making noise. Just, you can't get away from it. But that's the update for today. I hope that I can finish the little project. What the heck, dude? Oh my goodness. So, I hope that tomorrow I can find some time somehow to spend a little bit more time on the mini project that I started today, because it could use a little bit more polish. I got the hard part done. In fact, I got more done today than I thought I would be able to do. And if I can get it done completely or good enough to pass muster on Wednesday, I found 1 or 2 more things. This guy needs to stop screaming Oh my. I'd probably find one or two more things to add to those code samples that are also pretty complicated user interface design pieces that, I mean, it's the best I can do with a 3-day window being homeless and hardly ever being able to find a place to sit and do the work. It's crazy. When I had a roof over my head, I could spend 8 to 12 hours a day, but then the person I was living with, I was getting screamed at every day, screamed at the top of this person's lungs about how I don't do anything but sit in front of a computer all day and I'm a lazy piece of trash. And I'm like, what do you think I did for a living the whole time you've known me? I sit in front of a computer to make money. How do you think I'm going to find another job? Dude, I'm telling you, there's no quiet place in Jamestown, New York. None. Nowhere in this whole city. Nothing. But I'm like, how am I supposed to find a job? Even a minimum wage job without sitting in front of a computer? But that's one of the things that when you do this kind of work for a living, and I know a lot of people who sit in front of a computer for a living who may be married or have close friendships with people who stand on their feet all day, and you get accused of being a lazy piece of trash. All you do is tinker around and play on your computer all day, like you just sit in a chair playing video games all day. And it's so far from the truth. It's ridiculous, and it's insulting when people start acting like that to me. But in hindsight, my stepdad, I used to make fun of him all the time because he was a corporate executive for Kodak, and all he did all week long was sit in meetings. He dressed in a suit every day, drove into the city, and sat in meetings all day. That's all he did. And he started out as a software engineer. He moved up the ladder, became a suit wearing guy, and that's all he did. And I used to make fun of him all the time. I'm like, you don't work. You sit all day. You sit in meetings and talk to people all day. You don't work. And this was back when I was working at like Burger King, on my feet, busting my butt. My mom worked in factories. And so I used to make fun of him all the time. And then I started doing jobs where I sit on my butt all day in front of a computer. After I got out of art school, that's pretty much all I've done for the last 25, 30 years of my life. And after I had been doing that for a while, I had to apologize to my stepdad and say, yeah, I take that back. You actually did work. And I can see how sitting in meetings, having to wear a suit and deal with that politics and corporate bureaucracy and all the different things that you do at that job, I can definitely see how stressful that can be. And, I take it back. That's hard work. So there's that. So with that said, hopefully this job interview on Wednesday, since it's the only basket to put my eggs in, goes well. And I can go back to sitting in front of a computer and screwing around all day for a living. And if not, then we're going to have to figure something else out. But until then, I got to get back to the shelter because I'm just falling apart. And until tomorrow, peace out.